complaining, murmuring, unthankfuness. It's not okay with God, as the scriptures teach. How often the children of Israel, released from Egyptian bondage, would be found murmuring over their circumstances. One time complaining against Moses and Aaron, and Moses said, they're not complaining against us, but against God. The situation came to the point in the book of Numbers where God unleashed fire within the camp, showing his indignation, his displeasure with their murmuring. Complaining and lack of thanksgiving, it always brings up sort of an idealized idea of the past, as though everything was back in the good old days. Everything was better back in some time period. They were doing that after they were released from Egypt, thinking about the flesh pots of Egypt, and the conditions they had were better, forgetting that they were in chains and in bondage, not remembering to hold out to the promises of God, that if we just hold out and believe and obey, we shall make the promised land. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians speaks of this situation of the children in the desert, fallen in the desert, being destroyed, he says, by the destroyer for their murmuring. God's made provision for you and me in the gospel. And I think because of false ministries, they used to just be on television, these media ministries, but now, of course, they're all over the internet, where they used to teach that if you just have enough faith, you can manipulate God to getting whatever you want. So that's caused the believer who would endeavor to live by a biblical teaching, by biblical faith, to sort of not think about the importance of living by faith. But look in the New Testament, Jesus Christ himself, it said he would marvel over one's belief, or he would marvel over one's unbelief. And that's something weighty if you consider the Son of God incarnate. He either marvels at belief or marvels at lack thereof. That shows you and me that God's eyes and God's heart and God's outwardness to us has some sort of respect to the level of our faith. That means that if you and I be in Jesus Christ, then God has an expectation that you and I would walk in Christ and believe Christ and have an attitude that's reflective of I serve one higher than me. How often Jesus would say to someone after the blessed Lord healed them, he would say, be it done unto you according to your faith. Oh, daughter, great is your faith. His disciples came to him and said, Lord, increase our faith. He said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you may say unto this tree, be thou plucked up by the roots, and it should obey you. So whether you and I are in affliction, whether you and I are vexed, whether you and I are in trial or tribulation, we can look to that Lord Christ by the eyes of faith and say, I know my Redeemer lives. He is going to take me across